Hey everybody, and welcome back. Happy New Year. We are back doing our budgeting videos. We're gonna get on track for this year. We're gonna start off with some yearly budgeting stuff, so that way we kind of have a setup. I kind of use some of last year's numbers. They aren't accurate because last year was a rough year and I slacked off a few months, so some of the numbers aren't going to be exactly right, but they are close to what I think that they'll be for this year. So we're going to go on that, but I do have all my budget kits for my yearly, so we're going to do our budget. We're going to do sinking funds, savings tracker, debt tracker, and then medical expenses and emergency funds. So we're going to set those up. I have changed up a few things with my stickers for 2024. So on the headers up here, I did change the font to make them a little cuter, and I spaced out a little bit more on some of the kits as well. And then I will now have the thick and thin washi on the same sheet, offering 2 to 3 designs each month, depending on if I just fell in love with something. So those are going to be there now available. So we are first going to start off setting up our monthly budget, and we are in our Erin Condren monthly planner. It's a 7x9. It's the size that I used. We are actually going to flip all the way to the back where there are some extra note sheets back here. So let's see, we'll count from the back because I don't think there's any in the front to use. Yeah. All right, so let's make sure I go far enough. So emergency funds, I think I'm gonna put those on one sheet here with that one, and then we'll have savings tracker and our debt tracker we'll do here, and then our monthly and sinking funds we'll go with these 2 sheets. So is that enough for December? So we'll have our debt page, our paycheck breakdown, our budget, our weekly check-in, sinking or transaction log, and then sinking funds and transaction log. So we need to start here for our monthly. So we might not use one of our trackers. Let me make sure. All right, so our debt, the budget, paycheck breakdown on these 2, weekly check-in and transaction log, sinking funds and transaction log. So it definitely needs to start on this sheet here. So let's see how this looks. Let's get it set up. All right. I think normally I usually add extra sheets in the back, and when I ordered this planner, I don't think I added any extra this time around, which might be off. And they've also changed the kind of order of the pages a little bit, because in my old one there was a page in between, like here from the monthly view there was a line page here, and then this was on this side, so they kind of switched that backwards, so which is awesome. Kind of lines it up a little bit better. All right, so we are gonna lay down all of our stickers for this yearly. All right, and I think we're just gonna do black, that way kind of stay all sync. That way at the end of the year I can still use black in case the color I use is not available because I've used it all up. All right, so for our sources of incomes, we're gonna list 2. We're gonna list James's income, we're gonna list my income, and then we're gonna have other for anything else that comes in. So James, so for the year, I have it estimated right now at $36,000. That way, in case he's sick or he's out of work for anything like that, I really under budgeted his. That way, we are covered in case anything comes up for his budget. So $36,000 for the year. And then for myself, I actually budgeted $10,000. because I did start working at the school and I will be contributing all of my check into our budget for this year. I've just had to set my mind to it, and that's what we're going to do. I am going to be back at the tax office working there just on the weekends when I'm not in the school. I will still be doing like DoorDash on the side as well. And I'm really hoping, I just need to put a little bit in from there and then do savings challenges. I want to create one of the 100 cash envelope binder books and save that way. I'm actually already ordered the stuff so I can get it set up so I can start saving. So I'm super excited for that. So trying to find ways to keep me motivated to do our budget and save at the same time. And then for other is anything from us getting our tax refund to selling anything, receiving any money from like gifts or stuff like that. So other is a wide variety of things. It's also going to include what I receive from working at the tax office. This will just be my paycheck from the school and from YouTube Etsy is what's going to be under mail. So I predict about $5,000 in other for the whole year. Who knows, it could be more. I don't know what our taxes are going to look like. It is going to be that time to start getting it all squared away, which I've already got it ready to go. I'm just waiting on all the W-2s to come in so that way we can start getting them filed. All right, so next up, we're going to lay down all of our fixed expenses. And then we're going to do the variable expenses as well. Okay, so for our fixed expenses that we have, that doesn't really change, we have both cars. So starting with the Highlander, we will have about $6,072 that goes towards the Highlander for the year. The Camaro, you know, I probably should write the Camaro on the variable side. I think I'm going to do that because I'm hoping to put extra towards the Camaro going in this year. So we're going to put that on variable side. The Highlander, we're going to pay the amount that it's due each month. But the Camaro is one of the ones that we want to get paid off, one of the first few things. So we're going to put that on this side. So if we throw any extra towards it, we'll be able to see. So about $4,968 a year will go towards that currently. Then we have rent, and it shouldn't go up again this year because we just redid our rent. So in the year we'll pay $8,400 in total for rent. Allstate, well, it does change every 6 months, so we're going to put that on our variable side. Currently, with the amount that we owe now, our budgeted amount for that is about $3,840 for the year. Cell phones, I don't see it changing, but we're going to put it on variable side just in case. So for the cell phones, right now, when nothing changes with it, we're about $1,992 for the year. Internet's also another one of those that it could possibly change throughout the year, especially if the company decides to go up in their rates or whatever. So we're going to put that on variable. So $792 for the year. Student loans, I did have to resubmit all my student loans to get them to redo the calculations and stuff, and I haven't gotten the new amount that I have to pay, but I currently have a budgeted amount of $1,200, which is $100 a month for student loans currently. So we're also going to stick that on our variable side here, so $1,200, and I'm hoping to get one of those paid off, if not two of those this coming year. That is definitely going to be a goal, is to get one student loan paid off for sure, and a second one almost paid off, if not paid off. So All right, pest control. I haven't had any issues with pest control. They don't go up, they stay the same. So we're going to put that on our fixed side for the year. And we paid $396 for pest control. And I would not ever take that away. I absolutely love having pest control come out and take care of all the pests. Next up, we have utilities. So we have power. And in the winter, our power does hit $400 to $500 sometimes because we have no central heating and air. So we have heating units, little heaters and stuff throughout the house to keep the house warm in the winter. And so it fluctuates in the winter, and then the summer is definitely not as high. But we did set aside $3,600 in our budget for the new year. And then water has actually been pretty high the last few months, and it's crazy. So we are budgeting $1,200, which is about $100 a month, which is a normal amount for us. So hopefully we'll stay within that range. All right, now some of these are, the next ones here we're going to look at are for our cash envelopes that we use. So for groceries, so I did $625, but I'm really going to try to up it to $700 a month with us having our my stepson, my husband's son, coming on the weekends and then weeks at a time on breaks and stuff. So I'm hoping throughout the months I'll be able to up this to $700, so that way we'll have the extra to help cover the extra food cost that way, and then household needs. So that's going to be $7,500 with the $625 amount starting at. And then for gas, be $4,800 for the year. Spending, I have predicted about $1,200, which is about $100 a month, so $50 for me and James each month if possible. And then miscellaneous, $600, so $50 a month is what we try to set aside in there. All right, so these are our numbers. Let's add up our income. So about $51,000 is what we're expecting. I know James is normally, he has some really good checks sometimes, so we went really under. I think this is even under normal, but I'd rather be under than over on it when we kind of do our overview. But these three here should not change throughout the whole year. These over here have a chance to fluctuate up or down depending on what we actually spent. If the states increased all of the insurance for cars and vehicles and things like that, if we have to replace a cell phone, stuff like that. So those are more flexible to change throughout the year versus just the month. So we are going to skip a few spaces just in case we have to add anything throughout the year for our budget. So here we are. We might slide this one over just a bit more. Okay, on the sideways. All right, so there is our yearly budget set up for 2024. Now we're going to flip on over to this side here, and we're going to set up sinking funds. So sinking funds this year, I'm actually going to do a little bit different. For this yearly setup, I'm going to list all the sinking funds that we ended 2023 with, but each month I think I'm going to only list the ones that currently have funds in them and that we're trying to put money into each month instead of listing all of them. That way I can stay focused on which ones actually need the money right then. I do hope to get all of them with something funded back into them like I did last year when we got tax money back, to help cover costs that are coming up that we know, especially birthdays. Birthdays are very important in our house. So celebrate that. All right. And I have these listed in alphabetical order as always. So first up, we have Alexis. Now she has decided that she wants to keep doing gymnastics. So we are definitely encouraging that. Something fun for her to do. We want to have an annual amount of $1,000 into hers. She is also doing the pageant again this year, so she has to go out and get sponsors again. She is really excited. She's already asked me to go out so she can start asking and getting sponsorships to do her pageant, so that is fun. Then we have our anniversary, which our anniversary is all the way in October. So I'm really hoping that this year we can save $300 and do something. It'll be like $100 for food, $100 for him, and $100 for me to kind of spend on each other however we see fit. If we don't use it all, that's fine. We can roll it into the next year. So, because it's close to the end of the year anyways. All right, birthdays. All right, so $3,100 is the annual amount I would like to have in birthdays. And then for Bubba, he has actually mentioned that he wants to keep doing his little Ninja Warriors. So I want to fund up his to 1,000 so it'll cover his ninjas. And they did a discount because there's multiples in the ninjas. All three boys are doing it. So it's like 80, 85, and 80 are the numbers for them to participate. So, which works. Then we have car maintenance. I would love to get car maintenance funded up in case there's anything we need throughout the year. Currently, we still have free oil changes at our dealership. I think that I still have 3. James, I think, might have 4. I think he's only gotten it once since we found out. Maybe twice. So we have 3 to 4 depending on which vehicle you were looking at. So we haven't had to worry about paying on, and I said 2,000, not 3.1, on car maintenance. So just replacing like wipers and tires and different things like that is what car maintenance, and I hope to grow it even more, but currently it has nothing. Then we have car taxes, which this will be one of the ones that we're going to try to tackle very early on in January to pay our first car taxes in February. So let's see, we're going to plan 700. Then we have Christmas. And my goal is for Christmas is 2,000, but this 2,000 is going to be I want to save 500 in cash to have for the whole year is going to be my goal. And then the rest of it that we'll need, I want to use all of my money back apps and receipts scanning apps, all those kind of things that I have on my phone that I use to help fund the rest of Christmas. So my goal is to stay on track of scanning all of my receipts into all of the rebate apps to get the money back. So it'll build up by the time Christmas gets here, that it will help finish funding Christmas. So that is kind of what we're looking at. Clothes. Now clothes is definitely an ongoing one. My annual amount that we want to achieve is 1,000. That way, whenever we need any kind of clothing, we have access to the funds to go and get that, because they are constantly growing out of everything all the time. Family fun. So I have 500 set aside. This will be also like an ongoing one that would kind of constantly keep rolling. I would love for us to go on a family vacation, maybe celebrate after paying off a debt or something. $500 doesn't do much, not in this world anymore. But it's a start to start funding that back up and have like a goal to get it to. Then we have gifts, and gifts are for family and friends, birthdays, baby showers, weddings, anything that you can think of that you need to get a gift for. That's other than my own family's birthdays, like in our household. So I'll put $500 and I want to get that saved up in there. Holiday. This goes for every single holiday except for Christmas, of course, because it has its own category. So getting Valentine things for the kids to take to school or for me to give to them. Things around holidays for Thanksgiving, what other stuff, like St. Patty's Day, New Year's, and all those other kind of holidays that something is going on throughout the year. We want to have something set aside to participate in different things and have some fun with the kids. Then we have lawn care. And I'm going to set aside $200 into lawn care. This is definitely one that's over the summer. I'll add a little bit more to it if possible. But $200 will help cover the gas if we need oil, filters, a new battery for the lawnmower, whatever it may be. That is where we're going to try to pull it from here. And then we have mail. And I would love to have $500 just sitting in here so I don't have to worry month to month for my next hair appointment if I'm going to have the funds to go and get it done or not. A lot of times my hair appointment's only like $50 to $75 if I just get a cut. And then if I do get it colored, which is about once a year maybe, it'll be like $150, $175 or so, depending on like if she what she does. So it just depends, it varies. Then we have Phoenix. And he also, we're going to try to get $1,000 put into his account. And this is for their paying for their activities that they want to do and continue to do. If they want to switch to a sport, we'll have the money set aside for them to do a sport. That is what these are for. That's it. And any extra school activities that they want to participate in, that is where it will come from here. All right. Then we have Sam's. And I want to have $150 set aside into Sam's Club. All right. And then school, I feel like we are constantly spending money with schools. So my goal is $1,000. Last year I bought more school supplies than they actually needed because I used the previous year's school supply list. So, and I kind of had a bunch that I didn't realize. I've reorganized like a school supply drawer that has unopened, unused things that they would need for next year. So hopefully back to school we won't need as much, just a few new things like folders or a book bag for one of them because they've already broke theirs finally. So a few things like that, and then hopefully have some set aside to get them some new clothes, little outfits for the first day of school and stuff like that. And then pictures throughout the year and anything that comes up, like they do little dances, they'll sell popcorn and Gatorade a few weeks in the winter before winter break and stuff. So different little activities like that. Then we have Sky. We also want to have him some set aside so that way if he wants to find something to do on the weekends, if he wants to go to like a skate park or find something to do that's fun with his cousins or anything like that, we'll have some money set aside that he'll be able to go and do that. Then we have Steven, also $1,000 for him to cover anything that he will like to do. And then utilities. I want to have a constant amount of $500 extra sitting in utilities in case our power or water are higher than what we predicted them to be for that current month. So that is what those are looking like. So sinking funds are a blessing to have, especially when you really are struggling, to have a little fallback and you know that something's already covered and you don't have to worry about it. So lay these down. Kind of close out these. Okay, so that's what our budget and sinking funds are looking like for the year. And we are going to just do our debt tracker and we'll do the savings tracker. And then I'll see if I can somehow add a page. So, all right. All right, so for our debt tracker, this is the only tracker that will be available going forward in my shop. Normally, I don't really get anyone that purchased the Snowball or Debt Avalanche. So I did add APR and interest. Those are also on here now, so you'll be able to keep track of those with the debt tracker. But that will be the only choice for the new year, just because the other ones never sold, so there's no point in me keeping something that's never sells. All right, so, and I'm gonna try to list these in the order that we want to pay them off for the year. So the first thing up is my second student loan. They're numbered weird. I have 4 student loans. So the first student loan, and then we have the Camaro, and then student loan number 4, student loan number 3, and then student loan number 1. Those are the first ones that we want. And then we want to get my car paid off, so the Highlander. And then we do have some medical debt, more so me. I have some medical debt that will be tackled very last. All right, so student loan number 2, I still owe $1,914.28. Let me make sure. This one. Okay. And then the Camaro, we have $11,440.71. Student loan number 4 is $1,087.43. Number 3 is $3,388.32. Student loan number 1 is $3,357.53. The Highlander is at $20,298.05. It is so close to being in the 1 digits. It's so exciting. And then medical is at $13,315. All right. So I am going to skip a line just to give it a little space. And we are going to put in our total strip. Alright, so let's add these up. So 191428, 11440, 70, 1087.43, 3388 plus 32, 3357 plus 53, 20298.05, 13315. So in total, to start the year out, we are at $54,801.32 is our starting amount for the year. So we'll see how much we get paid off this year. I'm excited to see. Now we are going to go ahead and list our APRs for all of these. So we're going to use a little notepad so we stay. All right, student loan number 2 is our highest on APR, so it's a 6.80. The Camaro is 10.87. Student loan number 4 is 3.86. Student loan number 3 is the same at 3.86. Student loan number 1 is a 3.4. Then the Highlander is a 5.24, and then medical has no APR on it. All right. So the reason we're paying off this one here is because we want to get one of the student loans paid off, and it has a higher interest rate, and then we wanted to move on to the Camaro and get it knocked out because it has a 10.87 interest rate. And then we're going to go back to our highest interest rate for student loans first, and then work on our highest debt we have, which is the Highlander, and get that paid off. And then we'll slowly get medical, all the bills from all previous things taken care of there. All right, so that is the debt tracker. All right, so I do have emergency fund, medical expenses, and savings trackers that you can set up in yours. I apparently don't have enough space, so I'm not going to put any of these in because I would love to have a whole sheet to do these with. So I'm not going to add those in this year unless I'm able to somehow get the coil off and add a few sheets back here in the back to make it work. But we will see, because there's just no extra sheets, and I did not think about that when I ordered my planner. But I really hope that y'all enjoyed this yearly budget for 2024. Let me know in the comments down below if you've set up an overview for the whole year so you can kind of see where you're going to be sitting at. I can't wait to hear from you. I'm glad to be back on YouTube, hopefully back to posting regular videos each and every week for y'all. But I hope that y'all enjoyed, and I can't wait to see y'all next time, and Happy New Year. Bye-bye now.